All right, Internet Knife World. So I had something I want to talk about. My wife's dog's trying to climb in my lap. Look at this. Look at that thing. All right, so guess he's gonna sit there. All right, so here's what I want to talk about. Everybody knows that you can get copies from knives from like AliExpress, Temu. They copy the big makers like Cold Steel, and they're like exact copies. They're very hard to tell the difference from a real and a fake. There's some like really subtle changes that you can kind of notice. The steel is different, but a lot of times they're sold as real, and people will buy them and resell them on eBay. And I've heard this is also happening on Amazon, but I haven't like been able to confirm that yet. So hey, you don't stop it. Stop. So people are buying them from like Temu, and then they're selling them on eBay as real knives. And people are spending the money. They think they're getting a good deal on a real knife, and they're getting a fake. So that sucks. Especially if you're knowingly selling a fake as a real knife. That's essentially theft. So here's the other thing that is becoming a big problem, and I'm seeing it happen more. It's been going on, but it's happening more now. So there's a company called Eafengrow. You see them on Amazon, and the problem with them is they are copying other knife makers. They've made numerous copies from Work Tough Gear, and I think they've copied one of Alex's knives. They've copied one of Zeke's knives now, maybe I think 2 of his. And, I always ask people, if you think that we're like on good terms and friends and stuff, if Eafengrow makes a copy of my knife, are you going to buy it? So if Eafengrow makes a copy of a knife, those designers, they're not getting, they're not getting a royalty or anything from that knife sale. We're Tough Gear. Vic's over there. He's paying his employees. He's buying materials from quality companies like Boulder and stuff like that. He's also paying royalties. He's paying the designers royalties. So yes, it's not a U.S. company, but there are people, almost essentially employees in the U.S. that are getting paid for those knife sales. And when you're going out and buying a copy that other people have put time and money into designing, prototyping, and other companies like WorkTough has put money into like doing all the CAD files and machining and getting everything right with that knife. And they see it sells good, and they're doing all the testing and beta testing for that or whatever. The other company just comes in, Eafengrow, and they just rip the knife off. And they're just selling the knife. They don't care about the designers or the makers, or they're just making a quick buck. They're seeing what's moving and what's out there, and they're just making a copy. So but they're not just hitting the bigger knife makers. So there's a company called Compliance Edge. I've been watching their stuff for a while. I have one of their knives that I've been wanting to get. There's actually 2 knives that I've been wanting to get, but I'm trying not to spend too much right now. Like I'm in a spot where I gotta scale it back some because I went a little wild on the World War II knives. But the company is called Compliance Edge, and I don't know if I'll include a picture. You can probably find out which one if you go on my well-regulated Facebook. You can see the copies that I've posted. But this is a small batch maker. They usually do drops on Fridays, and this company Eafengrow, it's not even like similar. Like some of the copies, they're like, you can tell it's a copy, but it's a little slight changes. But this is like a 1-for-1 copy, and it's complete theft. Like they're stealing these people's intellectual property. And and I don't know if you guys know this right now, but a lot of knife manufacturers and knife companies are not doing great right now. So they're stealing money out of their pockets. So what can we do about this? So you can't make Chinese companies stop stealing things unless knife copyrights and patents, all that stuff is kind of like, unless I think you have a moving part or like a different function, you can't really like patent a knife as far as I'm aware of. But so I don't see if anything happening unless they pass some laws where you can't really stop them from copying knives. And the whole knife copying thing's a big deal in the knife world anyway. You know, like I've kind of been accused of copying knives. I don't think that I have. But but one thing we can do, and this is a problem. This is one thing I see as a problem. You have these YouTube and Instagram pages. They are promoting these companies that are stealing from other people. They're profiting off of people's work, and they're taking money out of people's pockets. So one thing we can do is we can stop promoting companies like Eafengrow. If you are a YouTube or knife person, you can stop making content with these knives. And you know, I understand not everybody's got $150, $300 to spend on a knife. Understand. Economy sucks. Everything's expensive. And, you know, they sell other knives that aren't copies. Other companies sell other budget knives that aren't copies. But you really should not, and I know you're a knife enthusiast, everybody likes stuff, and a good deal is a good deal or whatever. But you should not be buying copies. There's only one reason I can see for ever buying a copy. Let's say you have very specific carry constraints or whatever, and you want to buy a knife, but you don't want to spend like the $300 and get like a knife that's not going to work out. Then you have to try to sell it on the secondary market, and that can be kind of a hassle. So let's say you bought a fake, but you wanted to kind of test it out and see how it felt and everything, and then you were going to buy the original, the real knife. So even though you're still buying a fake, and that company that's doing that's profiting, you're doing it because you don't have the ability to go out and like test out one of these knives for yourself, or see if it fits in your pocket, or see if you're going to like it or not. So I can see that. But these YouTube pages and Instagram pages and stuff that are pushing these fakes and this intellectual theft, like public shaming has almost got to be a thing again. I think the only way to solve this is you just have to shame these people into taking the correct path. And I've said some things to people that have made people mad, and I'm not doing it to be like an asshole, but it's like, look, you know, like some of these guys are, they're regular guys, and like they're making some of their income off of their knife designs, and you have a company that's stealing their intellectual property and profiting off of it. And I don't know why you'd want to promote that and make videos about that, just so you can make, you know, $30-40 a month for YouTube. That's all your that's all you're worth? That's all your integrity's worth? So, and I know some people, you know, they don't care, it's none of my business, whatever. But if you are buying fakes of people's stuff and you're promoting it, and that's dirtbag activity, and you need to do a little, you know, self-reflection and kind of correct that issue. So if you've already bought fakes, you know, whatever, you've got them, the damage is done. But one thing you can do is you can stop. And if you want to buy a knife from Eafengrow and they have an original that they made, and you think, hey, if you're $30-70 is a good deal, then buy it, whatever. But you're still supporting a company that's stealing from people. You know, plenty of budget options. You can get a knife for $50, $60, and it doesn't have to be a company that is ripping people off. So kind of like the one thing that I think, you know, if, let's say my V44X, it's sold fairly well. There's not a ton of them that are out there. But what if Eafengrow decides to copy mine? You know, they copy my knife. You know, are you gonna buy it? You know, did you see the couple of years it took for me to do, you know, like the designing and, you know, having everything made, and all the thoughts I had in my head over the course of my lifetime, and the money that I paid, you know, to have a prototype made, and, you know, like the year or so it took for that prototype to translate to a production model, and the work that that Vic and his team put into that, you're not really seeing all that, but that stuff's happening, and I do get a royalty from those knife sales from Work Tough Gear. So are you gonna go buy a knife from a company that just completely stole all that intellectual property? So you can get a good deal and feel like, oh look, I could have spent $250, but I got this for $90, and it's just as good. But I got some stuff in the works. Some of the Rockwell on some of those cheap knives are like 75. Well, they 55 Rockwell. So I think that's a little soft for a knife. I think it's more in like machete territory. So it might be kind of tough, but it's, there's different things. I mean, you can sharpen soft steel really easy, but that's besides the point. The main point here is it's intellectual theft, it's dirtbag activity, and I think the community as a whole needs to stop accepting this type of behavior. And I really do think public shaming or some version of that is really the only way to correct some of this stuff. And I don't know, that's about it. Just think if you had a knife design, and you know how hard it is to get, like how small of a chance it is for you to take like an idea in your head, draw a picture and then have that translate to a production knife, and you finally get that done, and then you have a company just completely rip off your design. I mean, it's kind of a slap in the face, and it's really sad that this is even happening. But people are buying the stuff, and that's the problem. People stop buying the stuff. They're not going to be incentivized to keep making copies if people are calling it out and not buying it. Like on those reviews, those Amazon reviews should be people going, "Hey, this company is stealing ideas from people. There's intellectual theft. Don't buy it here. You should be buying it here. You should be buying it from this guy. You should be buying it from this company that needs knife sales." But if you don't care, you don't care. I can't make you be a good care. I can't make you care. I can't make you, make decisions that are like, moral and just and all that. You have to do that on your own. And if you can't do that, especially if you're a grown man by now and you still can't make like good moral decisions, I mean, it's probably too late for you unless you have some major life-changing event. You get in a car accident and you almost die and come back and see the light, and they're like, "Oh man, I saw a guy and he told me to stop by at Eafengrow knives." But anyway, this is I was gonna try to fit this video in like a 1-minute video, but it was too much to kind of cover, and so I just went ahead and made like a longer format video. I guess it's kind of boring, and I have no knives to show you. I can show you my wife's dog again, but there's that's about it. So that's the whole thing. Before they were just copying bigger companies, but small batch makers, those guys have it extremely difficult. They're almost they're buying materials and stuff, and they're almost like living paycheck to paycheck. They have to get materials in, they have to put that money out there, they have to sell a batch of knives, they got to pay themselves, they got to pay their mortgages, their own health covers, they have to put enough money away for emergencies. And it's can be a really tough business. A lot of those guys are not doing great right now. The economy sucks. People don't have extra money to buy knives and stuff. So on top of that, you have these dirtbag companies stealing designs, straight up one-for-one designs from these small batch companies like Compliance Edge. You should not be buying that stuff. I don't know if you can return it, but you should not be promoting it. You should not be on the internet saying, "This knife's awesome, it's such a good deal," when it's a copy of somebody else's knife. I mean, there are so many other knives you can buy that are not copies of people's. Why would you support a company that is engaged in intellectual theft and this like low-level dirtbag activity? Why would you do that? Is that little $50, or maybe you're making $100 a month? Is it really worth it? Like, are the links you're getting from, Amazon, your little whatever 2% you're getting from each sale, is that worth it for you? You're essentially stealing from some other people, and some people don't care. Like people just don't care these days. They're worried about getting theirs, and they don't feel like they owe anybody else any type of respect or, anything. So I don't know. All right, long-winded video. I need to get back to cleaning the house. So you guys have a good one. And if you have any other suggestions of how we can rectify all this stuff, let me know. But it's really unfortunate that anybody even has to bring this up. And to me, like, if I were to buy like a knockoff just because I wanted one and I didn't want to spend the money, I would be so embarrassed that I actually bought one. I'd be afraid to post it. I'd be afraid to tell anybody in public that I actually bought a ripoff of somebody else's knife. I definitely wouldn't make a YouTube video about it and tell people how great it was and showcase it while I'm getting, kickbacks from my Amazon links or, the company sending me free videos. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, are you making that much money off of Amazon? I mean, off of your YouTube videos? I don't think they're paying that good unless you got like 100,000 plus subscribers. So, I don't know. Maybe my V44X is too big. I mean, they're only really, maybe they have like a sweet spot where they're trying to hit, where they're only, copying knives that are a certain size because it's cheaper to ship. Cheaper to ship. And they're making, they figured it out math-wise that they're making it, the right amount of money, and they go too big, it costs too much, it's not worth shipping like a $50 knife. I don't know. Maybe they will copy mine. Maybe I'll buy one and I'll smash it up or cut it in half with the real one. I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll shoot it. Maybe I'll take the handles off or make it a throwing knife. I don't know. I hope they don't. I mean, it's kind of flattering, I guess, if they do copy your knife, because, I guess you've made it or whatever. If you got people, stealing your intellectual property. But just stuff to think about. If you guys do have suggestions, leave them down in the comments. I'm sure maybe some people, if they do watch this, if anybody sees my stuff, maybe there will be some people that get mad and they get a little butthurt. Maybe they'll leave a comment down below and call me a piece of crap and tell me to mind my own business, or they'll just ignore it. But, I feel bad. Alex from Aurora Borealis seems like a good dude. Eafengrow stealing his intellectual property. Zeke, he's helped, work with Work Tough for years now. They're stealing his intellectual property. The guy from Compliance Edge, I've been following him on Instagram for a couple years. They're stealing his. And I know those others, I don't know every single knife shape and design that's out there, but those are ones that I have noticed, and those are people that I've interacted with. So I'm sure they're gonna, if they're doing it, almost like doing sequels on movies, if it's successful the first couple times, they're gonna continue doing it unless people stop buying their cheap garbage. So and maybe it is an okay knife. We might have to resharpen it a lot, or I don't know, but it's getting made from, by probably like low wage workers in China, and just sad. All right, well, if I don't talk to any of you guys again, you guys have a good Christmas, Merry Christmas, and spend some time with your family. It's hard to do, but put your phone down and hang out with your kids, and try to do the right thing. Everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes, and nobody's perfect, man. I'm not claiming to be perfect. I do make a valiant attempt to be a good person on a daily basis. And so I think a lot of morality, shaming, self-respect, courtesy, there's a lot of things that people used to hold in high esteem that have just gone by the wayside. And you can see the results of that, you can see the effects of that in out in day-to-day life. So try to do the right thing. You know, do the best you can with what you got. Try to be a good person. Try to be a good example for your kids. Try to be if there's a good and evil, try to be on the good side as much as you can. Hopefully, 2025 is going to be better for everybody. I know things suck right now for a lot of people, and people are living paycheck to paycheck. And let's see, we're at over 20 minutes now. So Eafengrow is taking people's stuff, do the right thing, and hold people accountable. Hold yourself accountable. Have a good one.